In the world of mobile audio, there are a few names that have stood the test of time. One of them is Cerwin Vega. And did you know they have some amazing installation kits available for your Powersports applications? Well, on today's Connected, we've got their product expert, John Catalano, joining us so we can discover what's going on at Cerwin Vega for Powersports. This is CMA Connected, brought to you by SiriusXM, all about Cerwin Vega Powersports audio. And it starts now. What's going on, guys, and welcome to another CMA Connected, brought to you by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu, and as promised, we are talking Cerwin Vega in the Powersports audio arena today. We've got their product expert, John Catalano, joining us. Now, John, Powersports is a big catalog at Cerwin Vega, and today we're going to kind of poke through all the different offerings that we have. So I guess, can you give us a kind of overview of what we're going to be covering today?
Hey, Ben, thanks for having me. Yeah, at Cerwin Vega, we have a very large catalog of power sports offerings, and I'd love to go over some of the more popular pieces with you here today.
Oh, trust me, John, we're going to get right into it. But first, a quick message from our partner, SiriusXM. And when we come back, we got John Catalano in the studio. We're talking mobile, audio, and power sports with Cerwin Vega. Don't you dare go away.
Hi, Paul Truman here with SiriusXM. We reached out to some of our partners in the industry, and here's what they had to say.
I can't say more or enough about just what it means to have our unit working with SiriusXM. It's like we're there now.
The SiriusXM service is something consumers want, right? So it's Paul.
That allows a consumer to listen to either podcasts, entertainment, sports, all at their fingertips. It's all about engagement, and that's what SiriusXM provides.
SiriusXM is a huge component in a vehicle nowadays. Consumers expect that technology to be available both in our OEM system as well as the aftermarket upgrades that they're applying to their vehicle.
Alpine and SiriusXM, through our electronics, are able to offer the consumer on the aftermarket side SiriusXM 360L, which is an expanded platform for SiriusXM. And it's really been a beneficial relationship for us with SiriusXM.
As a dealer, just remember, we don't compete with anybody else. We are absolutely one of the best profitability accessories you can add to any head unit that is SiriusXM ready.
All right, welcome back, everybody. So, John, the first question I have for you out of the gate, Cerwin Vega in car audio has a legacy, obviously, with all the stroker products and whatnot. But when you guys decided to commit to Powersports, you did it in a big way. So I'd like to hear in your words why people should consider Cerwin Vega in the Powersports category.
Well, when we've taken the time to do the research for you, so we have a lot of plug-and-play kits that are made specifically for Razor, Ranger, Can-Ams. So we take some of the guesswork out of it. It comes with all the hardware. It comes with the right parts. There's different levels. There's styles for either mud or dirt. So we kind of got it covered. We give you lots and lots of options.
John, one of the things I want our viewers to understand is when you're committing as a brand to a category like Powersports, there's a lot of R&D involved. You've mentioned a couple things there. First of all, you're talking about the different platforms, right? The most popular being the Polaris Ranger, the Razor, as well as the Can-Am. But talk to us a little bit about what's involved so we can get an appreciation for the development side of things. Because every part, like you said, is included. Talk to us a little bit about the roto-molded enclosures, the factory mounts, and maybe some of the hardware or wiring that's involved with these kits.
Well, Ben, what we start out, we get the vehicle, of course, and then we 3D scan it. And then we take that and we put it in our CAD programs, and then we start designing our parts. Once we have those done, then we have 3D printed versions of those, and we test fit those. And then once we're satisfied with that, then we go to tooling and we make the roto molds. And then that process is just repeated for each vehicle. So we know all these parts are going to fit perfectly. We have the right textures and everything, so it matches the factory setup, so they look like they belong there. And then we go through the harnesses. They're the right length because we've already put it into the vehicle. It's made for that vehicle, so we give you the right length of wire. With quick connectors where available, or if it's for like the radio, there's a quick connector that goes right in the back of the radio. So there's nothing that can be cut. You can actually fully reverse the install. So you can put all this in, and let's say you get the new model comes out or whatever, you want to switch it up, you could take all that out and it'll be just like it was originally.
As I suspected, lots of R&D, lots of involvement and energy that goes into preparing these kits for market. Now, the other thing I want to highlight here, John, is what you mentioned, and I think the key word here is scalability. So I want you to talk a little bit about how these packages were designed and how that could affect the sale to a customer when it comes to being able to upgrade with different potential routes further down the road.
There's three levels of each kit, and then on top of that, there's two versions of each kit. So you have levels 1, 2, and 3, where you go basic, radio, front speakers. Then you go front speakers, rear speakers if it's a four door, and then you can go rear speakers, front speakers, pod, subwoofer. I mean, it's all you can step up the levels, which is great. And then there's the option if it's for mud or a dirt application. So depending on the rider, where they're going to be taking the vehicle, if it's going to be getting going underwater or something like that, you could go with a fully waterproof setup, or you can go with the dirt version where it's conformal coated, and it can handle the dust and moisture but not being submerged, right? So there's two different avenues there, but it allows you to uh, qualify the customer, talk to them, see what they want to get out of it, and then maybe they start off small, and then they can just add on to it later. Like they can add to the rear speakers, or they can add the pods later. They can add the subwoofer onto the kit because you've already got a base started. So it gives you lots and lots of flexibility in that way.
All right, John, let's get into the nuts and bolts and some of the components of this kit. One of the standout features for me, or parts for me, out of this kit has got to be the Cerwin Vega tower speakers. A lot of engineering and thought has gone into these tower speakers. So, talk to us a little bit about some of the unique features that these speakers have, and why they're a great choice for either standalone or, like you said, upgrading an existing maybe stage 1 or stage 2 kit.
Well, Ben, the real standout feature on the tower kits is the passive radiator. Uh, no one else has anything like that. It really increases the efficiency of those speakers, gives them a really rich, full sound, reinforces that bass. And they're available in large and small. So we have a compact version and we have a full size version, depending on the application, how much space you have. Also, what's great about it is they come with different mounting options, right? So depending on what size bar you might have on your vehicle, they come with 2 and 1 3/4 inch sizes, but they range from 3/4 all the way up to 3 inch. We have other options depending. You might have a different roll cage rig or something that you've added to the vehicle, so it gives you those mounting options. And the other nice thing about that is you may want to have those tower speakers facing out. You may not want those facing in. You might have the fronts and the door speakers for the rider, and maybe you have the tower speakers turned outward, so it gives sound to the other riders. Maybe they don't have stereo in their vehicle, so you can kind of make it like a concert on wheels. It's really customizable, lots of flexibility on those options. We also give you the mount is special, where it allows it to either have the wire go through, like if you want to drill through the pipe and then run it through, or you can have it where it comes out the side. So again, lots of options with those. Gives you lots of flexibility. The cans come in white or black. They have the optional illumination already built in. So if you want the illumination, you just buy the controller separately, and it gives you full RGB control, patterns, different colors, so you can really customize it for your personal taste.
Yep, those unique features from the Cerwin Vega tower speakers are certainly something to note. Passive radiator technology, guys, I've said it here before, something really unique, and I do implore you to get these guys in addition. You will hear a fuller sound from this tiny little wake tower speaker, especially the compact ones. All right, let's move on to both the drivers and the subwoofer, which have been engineered for this application in this environment. John, help us understand a little bit about some of the features or technologies that are built into these speakers as well as subwoofers.
Yeah, Ben, we've taken some technology and massaged it to work better in these applications, right? So the speakers are waterproof. We use titanium dome tweeters instead of horns because we know you're going to be like right on top of these speakers. So we want it to be a crisp and clear sound, but not like rip your head off style. So we've opted for those titanium dome tweeters. The speakers have the illumination built in, as we mentioned earlier. The subwoofers are completely waterproof, and those are going into roto molded enclosures, which are also waterproof. Uh, So the rotomold gives that enclosure very good rigidity. So it makes that subwoofer more efficient, right? We're talking about efficiency in these vehicles. We don't have a lot of power to work with. We don't want to waste anything. So on top of it needing to be waterproof, the rigidity helps it sound better, right? We're trying to make a lot of sound and not a lot of space. These vehicles are very compact. There's not a lot of real estate to give up. So we want to make everything as efficient as possible. And then we get a really great sound that way because we get as much as possible out of the equipment that we're installing.
Now, of course, if we're talking about drivers and subwoofers, well, we need something to power them. Now, if you haven't seen the Cerwin Vega compact multi-channel amplifiers for this application, then you're missing out. So, John, talk to us a little bit about these really cool amplifiers that come with the kit or are available a la carte.
Good point, Ben. There's two options depending again if we're doing the mud kit or the dirt kit. We have conformal coated amplifiers, so nice and compact, but lots of power. Multi-channel versions that are included with the kit, and like you said, they are also available a la carte. And then we have fully waterproof versions. So if you think you're going to take that UTV and kind of turn it into a makeshift submarine, well, we got that covered too. You can take those amplifiers and fully put them underwater, and they'll keep ticking. Uh, so those are the different options. Obviously, if you don't need the waterproof, you're going to save a little bit of money by going with the conformal coated ones. But that's really a personal choice. You know what, or the customer knows how they're going to be using that vehicle. So it gives them those options depending on what they're going to be doing, and still get good sound.
So, John, I have literally been waiting all month during Powersports Audio here to ask you this question, and that is DSP. So, DSP is not new, all right? Let's not act like it's new, but DSP for motorsports certainly raises a lot of eyebrows. And everybody's like, why do I need a front stage in my ATV? Well, John, I'm hoping today you can help us demystify this and help our viewers understand why it's so important to consider adding a DSP and, more importantly, DSP tuning to optimize your sound system in a UTV environment.
Yeah, man, I get this question asked a lot. You're right on. You're spot on. We're not trying to create a soundstage like you would like in a car, like or even a home stereo where you're trying to recreate the concert effect. What we're trying to do is increase efficiency and at the same time get optimal sound. So what we're going to do with the DSP is we're going to use it to cross over the speakers so they're playing more efficiently where they're not trying to reproduce signals that they can't reproduce. So we're not wasting power because in a UTV, we have a very small power supply. We're lucky if we have 40 or 50 amps of current to work with. The batteries typically aren't very large. So we don't want to be wasting power to create sound that's not going to be utilized, right? So we're going to make those speakers run more efficient, and then we're going to use that DSP to compensate for some deficiencies we may have with speaker placement. So our kits are optimized for the placement that they have, but you're still limited to where they could go because of the space constraints on a UTV. So if you have a tower speaker like right behind your head and the front pod speaker is maybe 2.5 feet away from you, that sound isn't going to reach you at the same time. You may get some cancellation of bass from or the subwoofer that's underneath the dash, like say on a Razor. So what we could do is we can adjust that time delay so all that sound reaches the rider at the same time. So we don't have mid bass drop out. We don't have these anomalies that can happen when the speakers aren't exactly the same distance from each other. And instead of having the customer just turn the volume up more to try to compensate for those cancellations, now we could just fix it in the DSP, and that volume knob doesn't need to get cranked up more, which means we're not using more power, and again, making the system overall more efficient and most importantly, sounding fantastic.
And there you have it, guys. If anybody can explain that, it's John Catalano, and he put it right there. DSP for power sports. Make sure you consider that when you really want to optimize your next UTV system. All right, the last category here we have to touch on because for many, this is kind of like the stepping stone towards improving that sound in a UTV platform. And that is, of course, soundbars. And Cerwin Vega certainly has a great offering in soundbars. Can you break it down for us, John?
Yeah, Ben, we have 4 options for soundbars for UTVs. What's great about these is they're universal, right? So it doesn't matter what UTV you have, golf cart, anything like that. these can be mounted. It comes with different kind of brackets, so you have multiple mounting options. You can do flush, you can do swivel. Um, they have our unique passive radiators again, just so you get that super full sound out of them. And then they come in two lengths, and they come with or without lighting. So that's why there's the four, right? So you have a long one, a short one, with or without lighting. They Bluetooth streaming, and one of the other unique things with ours is you can daisy chain them. They're expandable. They have so if you're streaming to one, it has RCA out. So if you want to add a subwoofer or you want to add a second soundbar, so you can have multiples on the same vehicle, which is kind of unique and cool at the same time, because not everybody wants to put large speakers in the panels or have options for that. This gives you a really easy way to add a lot of sound. The amplifier is built in. It comes with a huge pre-run harness, so the wiring comes with it. So it's really a very simple upgrade for the end user.
All right, John. Well, we've taken the time to kind of talk us through from the very top, the multiple plug and play kits, application specific from Cerwin Vega, all the way down to something as simple as a soundbar upgrade. What final message do you have for dealers looking to get into power sports or looking for another brand to maybe get into their store and offer their customers?
Well, I would be looking at Cerwin Vega just because of the vast amount of products that we offer. We can cover, the plug and play setup where it's we offer these kits where it's just everything's there. We take the guesswork out of it, or the universal scenario where maybe it's a golf cart, not one of these UTVs or something like that, where you have to make it fit. You can use our soundbar. You can use our speakers because we offer all these parts as a la carte setups, and our amplifiers are nice and compact but lots of power. So you can really cover the whole gamut by using Cerwin Vega.
That was product specialist John Catalano from Cerwin Vega joining us today to give us all the details on their product catalog when it comes to power sports audio. Now, if you want more information on any of the products covered on today's show, make sure you head on over to their website, cerwinvega.com. Now, here's my takeaway. This is a brand that you already know, a rich history in mobile audio, but now it is clear that they have totally immersed themselves into investing time, energy, and research into coming up with these products for the power sports category. Between the rotomolded injections to the cut-to-length wiring and the factory mounting points, all the way down to their passive radiator technology, you can see clearly that Cerwin Vega is serious about power sports audio, and you should find comfort that if you were to partner with this brand, they have got you covered through and through. That's it for this CMA Connected, brought to you by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.